Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by, and also welcome to the podcast. If you're listening to this on the podcast, this is an episode on the YouTube channel that I am dubbing to the podcast for you guys. We're going to be talking about the water pump install, what to do and what not to do. I'm going to highlight some points here. We had some issues on the install that I didn't get to talk about because I actually ran out of space on my camera. I was going to mention it at the end of the video, but I ran out of space. Not really huge deals, but just something minor that I want you guys to look out for when you are doing this install. Make sure you watch the unboxing to understand what you need. The Lyle Kit 22100 off of Amazon. We got it for roughly, I think, $35. It was on sale. It's usually $50. You need that kit to lock your flywheel. It's very important. That's about the most important thing you need. You can do it the other way. You can do it through the starter. I would not recommend it. It's more of a pain in the ass. So we're mainly going to talk about a few things here on this channel, on this episode, on the podcast, on the YouTube. That's what we're going to do. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, make sure you follow the podcast on Buzzsprout, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Those are the ones that I'm currently uploading to. I could upload to more, but I'm not currently doing that. We have the video rolling in the background right now. We've already gone through a few steps, and I want to start out by saying the biggest thing that we had issues with is not what everybody says. So everybody said that the harmonic balancer bolt, not nut. As you saw in the video, I kept saying nut for some reason, so I flashed bolt on there. I also kept saying flywheel clutch instead of fan clutch towards the end there. You know, you get in these grooves, these videos, sometimes they get kind of hard to make, especially when you're focusing on the install. You want to focus on the install versus making the video. It's really hard to balance the two things. They're not easy things to do. I do appreciate everybody who has commented on the videos, liked the videos, watched the videos, subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you, every last one of you. You guys on Instagram, TikTok, the podcast, LinkedIn, Twitter, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. I'm now on Snapchat as well, so you can find me and follow me on Snapchat. Also be kind of the same thing about like TikTok and stuff. But anyways, the water pump. Let's start off with the, let's see here. Let's go install coolant bypass pipe. We're on the harmonic balancer. The harmonic balancer bolt, we used a 1/2-inch breaker bar with a 3/4-inch adapter to use that Lyle flywheel lock kit, 36mm 12-point socket that comes with it. We did have a chrome one that we ended up using that was 1/2-inch, so we didn't have to adapt it, but you might have to adapt to it. I would suggest getting a 3/4-inch breaker bar. You can return it after you use it to break it loose. I didn't say that right now. But if you go to Harbor Freight, pick up a 3/4-inch breaker bar. If you don't really need it, and you only need it for that job, you can try and get away with doing a 1/2-inch to 3/4-inch adapter. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest with you, just because you're making a point of failure. It wasn't really that bad. We're not doing it right now. We're taking off the water pump bolts right now in the video, but it really wasn't that bad, you guys. Once we got the breaker bar on, we got our cheater pipe. 2 people. We did run into the hood, so we couldn't get our cheater pipe up all the way because we wanted to keep it as vertical as possible. But with Eric and I, we were definitely able to get it loose. It was definitely a pain in the ass though, but it wasn't really as big of a pain in the ass as people say. You could definitely do it yourself if you had a 3/4-inch breaker bar, as well as, because there's just more weight to a 3/4-inch breaker bar, as well as a really good cheater bar. I would recommend like a rigid conduit. That's what I would use. EMT or IMC. Black pipe, that's all really soft metals. So rigid conduit is truly probably the best thing you can use for a cheater bar. There are other options out there as well, as that's definitely opinion based. But like I said, that's not the hardest part. Everybody online says that is the hardest part. No, it's not what we ran into. Wiggling that damn bypass coolant pipe out was the hardest part. Man. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to get into the other things that I want to talk about, and that is why Eric's water pump failed. I don't know. You know, these things are, I have Eric's water pump here right now. It's kind of cleaned up a little bit, got some oil on the inside here. These things are designed to let you know they are failing. And what that means is there's a weep hole in this. And here, I'll show you guys on the video right now. The very bottom here, I think that's the weep hole. There's one here. Let's see. Where are you? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Yeah, that's the weep hole. My apologies. I don't know why I was thinking somewhere else, but this is the weep hole. It's all cleaned up now. But anyways, it's going to start leaking out of there. And sometimes it's really hard to find a leak, especially coolant. Everybody freaks out on it. I don't blame you. If you see coolant on the ground, it's definitely time to kind of start freaking out. Don't freak out too bad. First, check your heater core connector, that hose up at the top, to the left of the turbo, to the right of the condenser, your air conditioning condenser. Check that first. That's notorious for leaking, and it's a plastic piece of crap that should be replaced. And Eric! We forgot it again. We had all your coolant drain. We could have replaced it again then. Eric's doesn't replace. We were like, next time we run into where we have to drain the coolant, we'll replace that hose. Anyways. You know, things happen. Just like I wanted to upgrade his hot side pipe too. Which isn't a really big deal, but anyways, they're designed to let you know they're failing. And you do have time. You know, Eric got a low coolant level. He found some drips of coolant, but it wasn't bad. He drove it for about a week. And then we went to do the oil pan, and we noticed it was a lot worse. So he parked his truck. We found the issue. We found that was coming from the water pump. It's very hard to trace some of that stuff out because when you have a coolant leak, it's so thin and it goes everywhere. It's kind of like fuel. Coolant and fuel are really hard to find leaks because you can add dye and stuff to help you find the leak, but still it's really kind of hard to find those leaks because it just goes everywhere. And coolant's nasty, but it just goes absolutely everywhere. Luckily we found it. We found it, traced it all the way back, and we could actually see coolant coming out of that weep hole. That's why we decided to go ahead and replace this. Now, currently now has been driving for a week. His girlfriend's been driving for a week, and they had one low coolant warning, and that's just simply because when you drain all your coolant, we did bleed out the air on that upper radiator hose, but when you drain out all your coolant and you fill it back up, you're still going to have air bubbles and air in that system that they kind of self-bleed out. So once it bleeds out, it was barely below the level, you guys. I mean, I'm saying it was barely below the low coolant sensor. So I just filled it back up, no issues whatsoever. Everything is great. So it's good. Everything's good, right? No. Everyone says the harmonic bolt is the worst thing ever, and it's not. We had the biggest issue with that coolant bypass pipe. The coolant pipe that comes out of the bottom of your thermostat housing into the top right here of your water pump, right? That was our biggest issue we had. And currently, magically, that was not timed. We're putting it in right now. Let me pause this. For those of you on the podcast, you can't see this, but hopefully you did watch the YouTube video so you can see this. But anyways, right here, the coolant bypass pipe. When we put it in, if you saw, I don't know if I can rewind a little bit. You see here, we go in it kind of at an angle here. We don't really go in it. You're supposed to put it on this side of the, when you install it, you want to put it in like this. Get it in that tube pipe, get it up into the bottom of the thermostat housing, and then get it down. We started from over here in front and twisted it around. And when we went to twist it around, we ended up breaking the O-ring. Now, I would say the O-ring that comes with this kit, and actually other kits, isn't the greatest. Oh, excuse me. I would recommend buying an O-ring kit from O'Reilly, AutoZone, Napa, wherever you get your stuff from, and having it along with you, because we had an issue where we got everything put back together, and unfortunately, it was leaking like a mother. It was leaking like a sieve, and it was crazy. So we took the coolant. We saw it was easy to find. So we took it out. We took the serpentine belt out. We took that coolant bypass tube out, and then we went ahead and put a new O-ring on it. We saw that it was broken. We could tell by looking at it that we snapped it off. I did want to cover this in the video, but unfortunately I ran out of footage. I had over 2 hours of footage to film to edit, and I didn't have enough camera space to do it at the time. It's really not that big of an issue, but I do want to cover it and let you know that, hey, get extra O-rings. You can take it out. You don't have to take much off. Just take the serpentine belt and then you can take it out. I will be covering an install on one. I'm going to be upgrading my LBZ come spring here, I think, when I get that put back together. Everything's covered in snow right now, unfortunately. So that's what paused that. But anyways, I'm going to be doing a full install on that, and we're upgrading it to stainless from PPE. But anyways, have those extra O-rings. The one that comes in the kit was kind of loose, and you don't want it loose. So we got a really nice and tight one. And you need to understand that on that coolant bypass where that goes, you just want to make sure that it's wider than the actual bump outs of the coolant pipe so that it snugs tight. We put the new one on, put it back in, filled up with coolant, had no leaks. That was something I wish I would have covered. I wish I could have covered, but unfortunately I couldn't. And that's why I'm doing stuff like this, and that's kind of why I want to do more of these videos and podcasts for you guys, so you guys understand things that you should do and things that you shouldn't do. Things that you shouldn't do is come at it and turn and twist. A lot of people on YouTube say, well, you can just twist that coolant bypass pipe out of the way and don't take it out. No, don't do that. Take it out. You've already got everything apart. It was a pain in the ass to take it out. I'm not going to lie. It was an absolute pain in the ass to take it out. But if you twist it, I am a pure example. Eric and I are a pure example. You are going to risk breaking that O-ring. All right? So don't do it. Just take it out. Put a new O-ring in. Oil it. Put engine oil on it. Oil the living shit out of it. Put engine oil on it. All right? Absolutely do that. Get it nice and lubed up, all right? You want to do that. There's a good video on YouTube. It's not a good video, but it's a decent video. He doesn't really explain too much, but I'll link it below because I don't have one on that coolant bypass tube. This guy does. So I'll link it below, and I'll put like the minute mark of when he's doing the install on it or doing the O-ring part on it. I'll do that for you guys probably on the install video. So I'll link the install video below here. And I'll link it on the install video because there's a lot of videos in the description for the install video, like the how to bleed air out of your coolant. That's for the lower radiator hose install that we did, lower coolant hoses that we did on the Duramax, as well as the Serpentine belt, and then I'll do the coolant. I'll link all those below is what I'm getting at. Again, if you're on the podcast, I do hope that you watched the YouTube video on it. It was a good install. It's a good video. I had fun doing it. It was long. Very long, so like I said in the posts I made, grab your freaking popcorn because it is all of 30 minutes. It ain't more than 30 minutes, I think. It's 29 minutes and 52 seconds, or maybe 30 minutes and 10 seconds. But anyways, and also on the video right now, you can see I'm standing here, and there's a light bar. That's a $95 light bar, over hood light from from Amazon. Great hood light, lasts us the entire day. So I would highly recommend it. Now, what I would say is, hey, we don't need ads. Hey, I appreciate you guys that watch all the ads, too. Man, I'm getting notifications on my phone like crazy, too. Hold on, sorry. We're pausing the video and the podcast right now. Hey, thank you. I'm getting a lot of comments and likes on videos right now, Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. And the subscribers. Appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below if you want. I appreciate all the support. This happens all day long, you guys, and I absolutely love it. A lot of haters as well. We got to cover that oil pan shit. That was insane. Corn stalks. Y'all got to stay out of cornfields, y'all. You guys got to stay out of cornfields. What the hell are you doing? I get corn farmers, all right? I get farmers and stuff. But, man, the amount of people that lost motors and trucks to corn stalks, apparently, is massive. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's on TikTok. You'll find it. But anyways, what were we on? Oh, we were on the coolant bypass pipe. So I'll link that coolant bypass tube video below. Make sure you have extra O-rings. It's very important. I highly recommend it. We ended up running to the parts store and getting more. But anyways, and of course that all happened like at the end of the video. When I closed out the video, it was just like, oh wow, okay. Now I'm filling it with coolant. Now we have the issue, right? That's what I get for just saying, you know what, I'll just link a video below for you guys. I did run out of footage, but anyways. So the biggest issue we had was that coolant bypass tube. We didn't have much of an issue with the harmonic balancer bolt. Understand right now, you need that flywheel lock kit. Lyle 22100 is the part number. Yep, Lyle 22100, I believe, is the part number. I have it linked below in the install video, and I think I have it linked below in the unboxing video as well. So I will link both those videos below in this video, and it's important. You need it, you need it, you need it. Please make sure when you do the install and you get your harmonic balancer put back in, torque down to 260 foot-pounds, all right? Do not go over, do not go under. If you noticed in the video, I don't have it up right now. I'll put it up for you guys on the video. If you notice when we took that bolt off, there was oil on Eric's washer. There was oil on Eric's washer of his harmonic balancer bolt, right? That is because at some point someone took it off. He's got a lot of things on there that have been replaced over the years, and someone did that, but unfortunately they did not torque it down to the right torque spots. If you over torque it, it will leak. If you under torque it, it will leak. Not a lot, not to like cause damage. It's not going to be annoying. You're probably not even going to notice it, but it will leak. That's a fact. 260 foot-pounds, 3/4 inch ratchet, 3/4 inch torque wrench. You can also return that too after you're done with it. I didn't say that. Only if you don't need it. Like if you don't need those big tools, you know, we don't need it a lot on these trucks. You really don't. But anyways, if you don't need it, return it. Use it once, return it. Say, oh, it's the wrong size, or say it didn't do it. I don't trust it enough. Whatever. I don't care. Return it. You get 30 days, right? And then get a tool you want. If you want to return it and you feel bad for returning it after using it, take that money and buy something else from that same exact store that you wanted to buy. That's it. All right? Then you don't feel bad. But anyways, you know, please make sure once you get that harmonic balancer torqued back down to the right torque specifications. Don't cheap out on that. Take that flywheel lock kit out. If you go to start the truck and you forgot about that flywheel lock kit, man, you ain't not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. So, I wanted to spend this video and this podcast to talk about those two specific things. The coolant bypass tube, the fact that we did have a leak, we fixed it. Eric doesn't have any other leaks anymore. You know, once your air bleeds out, it's fine. There's no leaks under his truck. There's no leaks anywhere else, which is great. His oil pan isn't leaking anymore. His water pump isn't leaking anymore. That truck is freaking beautiful, you guys. I love that truck. And his truck's actually up for sale, so DM me on Instagram if you want any information on it. He does have a listing for it. He needs car parts. He's got his Trans Am build going on. He loves the truck. It's honestly his most reliable vehicle. A lot of stuff done to it. You guys know what's done to it. The link of everything below that is done to it is below. It's a great truck. And it is for sale. It's not outrageously priced. We're not doing that. He just needs to free up some money, some cash. So DM me if you want, if you're interested in it at all. We're in central Wisconsin. If you're actually interested in looking at it, then I'll give you all that kind of information and stuff like, well, I'll get you in contact with him. But anyways, it's a great truck. It was a great install. I want to say, if you're mechanically inclined and you know what you're doing, and you don't really run into any major issues, the coolant bypass tube issue that we had with the leaking took a little bit of time, 10 minutes to take the tube out, then we had to get O-rings. That was another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then 10 minutes to put it back in, then another 10 minutes to fill. So that honestly added another 45 minutes to almost an hour. So it shows you the importance of doing a job, to have everything you think you may need. Because remember, you can always return stuff. Everything you think you may need with you, so you don't have to make those extra trips. That makes everything longer. But if you're mechanically inclined, 100% you could do it in 2 hours. 100% you could probably do it in 2 hours. I think with filming, it took Eric and I, without all the bullshit of running around getting the torque wrench, because in the video we tell you we run and got a torque wrench, and then the bypass tube and all that shit. We were probably done in 6 hours. Take out all the filming and everything like that, 3 hours we were probably done in, and we did a lot of bullshitting and a lot of talking, so that's why I'd say 3 hours. But if you're mechanically inclined, you get to it, you get rocking on it, you could probably do it in 2 hours. If you've never done it before, and you are and you've never done something like that before, that intense, because a water pump job's not something to just shrug your shoulders off on. If you're doing it, good. Good, because it's not cheap to have somebody else do it for you. But if you're doing it, awesome. And if you're not 100% confident, watch my video. Honestly, watch my video. It's really not that. It's a pretty good video. I don't try to skip anything. I do have to talk about one more thing. I didn't try to skip absolutely anything. I watch other people's videos as well. You can get through it. Trust me. You can get through it. You get all your torque specs. I talk about all the torque specs you need on there. You get step-by-step on actually how to do everything. We did use the lift, right? So anyways, first off, before we go further, I say if you have no mechanical skills, hey, go ahead down. if you have somewhat mechanic skills, what is going on back here, guys? I would say 4 to 6 hours. 4 to 6 hours is what I would say for if somebody that has never done a water pump before, has never taken the engine down, or has never taken it down that much before. I would say 3 to 6 hours. If you take your time, do it in your driveway. The only reason we use the lift because we were lazy and we wanted to drain the coolant, and it really wasn't that bad. Even so, the back of the water pump here, these two bolts. So the water pump sits like this, right? This bolt down here. That bolt, everyone skips that bolt. Everyone skips how to do that bolt. A lot of guys that don't have their fan shrouds on. A video for the future and a podcast for the future. And they end up taking that bracket completely off. Don't do that. If you take the coolant hose off the bottom of the water pump, you take your skid plate off, take that coolant hose off the bottom of the water pump from underneath the truck, even if you're in your driveway. Honestly, it actually probably would have been easier if you were in your driveway, because we had to like stand up on our tippy toes. You can get just a regular 12mm wrench on the back from underneath past the tube. It's right there. It is honestly right there. I don't know why nobody covers it. I don't know why people skip it, because they always point to it like I point to it. Oh, there's one in the very bottom back there that you can't see in the video. It's really hard to get at. And then boom, they're taking their water pump out. No. Go underneath, take the skid plate off, go underneath, move that lower radiator hose out of the way, and take it out with 12mm wrench, break it loose, and then use your ratcheting wrench to take it off the rest of the way. And then bada bang, bada boom, you've got the nut off, you take your water pump out, and it's just that easy. Seriously, it's really not that bad of a job, you guys. It's just very, very time consuming, all right? The biggest pain in the ass we had was that coolant bypass pipe on the top there. That just because it's so tight. I mean, it's so tight, you don't have a lot of room to wiggle, and you can't really wiggle it that much. It's so tight. Replace that little chunk of hose. Harmonic balancer, get that torque to the right specification. Take your flywheel lock off. Put your fan clutch on. Great opportunity to upgrade your fan clutch. Not upgrade it, but replace your fan clutch. Great opportunity at the time to upgrade your harmonic balancer. If budget is not a thing, and you want to spend the money on a nice new dampener, you can. You absolutely can. So fan clutch, idler pulleys, it's another great one. I don't know if you want me to mention you, but on Instagram you mentioned it too, man. I appreciate you. You watch all my videos. It is a great opportunity to replace all your idler pulleys, because you replace this, you replace that, and then that one squeaks. And we all hate that damn squeak. Because for us in the mechanics world, we know what that squeak is. But you know, when you pull up to the drive-thru at old McDonald's, excuse me, and it squeaks, you're like, man, they think my truck is just a piece of shit. They think it's just a pile. They think it's just a pile, but it's just a damn pulley. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. First off, who gives a shit what they look at you like? But it's a great opportunity at the time to replace all your pulleys, tension or two, whatever. Like, if budget's not a thing, just do it. You'll be happy. Trust me. Replace that fan clutch. Pretty much everything you can replace in that area. So when you take that fan out, oh my goodness, it just opens up an amazing amount of room for you guys. So yeah, it was a great install. Eric and I had fun doing it. I don't mind doing it. It's time consuming, but I don't mind doing it. I really don't. It's time consuming, but I love doing this shit. I do. I love making videos for you guys. I love excuse me, I'm thirsty. I love giving you guys tips and pointers. I like pointing out the things that everybody skips. Like the magical two bolts, the magical bolt on the back here is one that everybody skips. I kind of skip it on the video, but I don't skip it, I talk about it. I just couldn't get the camera in there. And again, Eric and I did mess up when we started to install it back in, because we just kind of got in the groove and get in the groove. And look at me. Look at that. Oh, by the way, these sweatshirts, I'm not wearing it right now. The DIY Diesel sweatshirt, I do have them. They're limited. I'm going to put them up soon. I think I only have 5 large, 5 extra large, and 5 medium. I wear an extra large, so if you're bouncing between like a large and an extra large, just order an extra large. I only have 5 of each, limited time. I'm going to someone locally here that I finally found that we can do merchandise through. I no longer have to huff it upstairs and make all my t-shirts and sweatshirts myself, so that's going to be exciting news. But anyways, you know, I love doing all this kind of stuff. It's a fun time. It was a good install. Coolant bypass pipe was kind of a pain. Make sure you do it the right way. Watch the video. Watch other people's videos. The harmonic balancer bolt. Try and get a buddy. You know, try and do this with a buddy. Even if, you know, if you got a buddy that's not even mechanically inclined, you just want some muscle, get a buddy there to give you company during this install. Seriously. Have him help you through the YouTube videos while you're doing step by step, right? You know, okay. Because it's hard in YouTube videos, and I get it. I understand when I have a 30-minute video, but it's a 2-hour job or a 6-hour job for someone, and okay, now we got to take the fan clutch out. Shit, he's already on this. Shit, he's already on this. No, just pause the video, rewind it back, watch it, pause it, rewind it back until you get that part out, then move on to the harmonic balancer. Get that out. You know, because it's quick. It's quick, right? And I understand that. But also understand you can pause, rewind, pause, rewind, pause, rewind until you're comfortable, until you figured out where everything is. It's really not that bad of a job. Get a buddy, get a friend, help you through it. Even if they're not mechanically inclined, they can help you through YouTube. They can help you with that breaker bar. Once you get that broken loose, it is what it is. So, again, like I said, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast. I hope I covered things I wanted to cover. Eric really wanted me to cover the coolant bypass tube because it was a pain in the ass, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. We don't know why his pump failed. It's just kind of a timing thing, I think. It's just kind of not timing, not like timing, but like, you know, 300,000 mile Duramax. It's just, you can't hear it, but it's definitely bad. So it is what it is, you know. If you have a high mileage Duramax and this is not on your list, I would do it. If your truck is over 200,000 miles, basically, and if this hasn't been replaced, I would suggest having it, like purchasing it and having it like on your part shelf, or like I have my cabinet here. Keep it in your cabinet for when it does go out, even if it never does. Or if you get some time, you can replace it. I would highly recommend it. It's one of the things, like if you do head gaskets, it's one of the things any company is going to recommend to you. Hey, we're doing head gaskets. We got everything apart. We got the truck. We got the cab off, because most people, when they do head gaskets now, they take the cab off. It's not going to cost any extra labor, because we have, you know, it's not going to cost them any extra labor. So I would suggest doing it. So if they're suggesting it then, I would suggest it now. If you got anything, if you got 200,000, 250, you're going up there in miles, I would suggest doing it, setting yourself some time. If you do it, if you're like me and you have to do everything in your driveway when I can't get to Eric's house, wait for a nice, good spring, fall day, summer day if you want to sweat, and do it. So yeah, they're designed to let you know they're failing. Once you see it leaking and start going, just pull over. This will leave you on the side of the, like, this will leave you on the side of the road. Like, don't, I'm not trying to scare you, all right? But this will, when it does truly fail, and it's failed, it's gonna dump all your coolant. It's just, it's gonna be everywhere. I've seen it plenty of times. And this isn't a knock against GM. This isn't a knock against GM at all. It's just one of those things. Every truck, every brand has their things. The things that they can't, you know, every company can't get everything perfect, right? So, like I said, failed because it's just old, pretty much. And that's that. Comes with everything you need. Watch the install video. Watch the unbox video. Listen to the podcast if you definitely want, if you can. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, all the likes, all the follows, all the subscribers. All the support is absolutely unreal. We're gonna push hard this year, you guys. We're gonna push hard. I'm doing my best for you guys, and stay tuned for more merch coming. Stay tuned, hopefully, for some good giveaways this year. We've got a lot of stuff in the works. I've got a lot of boxes of shit to go through, and yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast and the next YouTube video. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.